Abandon. To abandon something is to leave it forever or for a long time.
The old room had been abandoned years before.
Abbey. An abbey is a house or a group of houses where monks or nuns live.
When the monk returned to the abbey, he went immediately to his bedroom.
Abide. To abide by something, like a rule, means to obey it.
If you want to play the game with us, you must be willing to abide by our rules.
Ability. Ability is the quality of a person being able to do something well.
His swimming abilities let him cross the entire lake.
Abnormal. If something is abnormal, it is strange or not normal.
Her idea of art is a bit too abnormal for me.
Aboard. When someone is aboard a ship or plane, they are on or in it.
They climbed aboard the kayak and paddled through the river.
Abolish. To abolish something means to put an end to it, such as a system or law.
President Lincoln abolished slavery in the U.S.
Aborigine. An aborigine is a native of Australia before Europeans lived there.
The Aborigines created beautiful artwork.
Above. If something is above, it is at a higher level than something else.
He straightened the sign that was above the crowd.
Abroad. If someone goes or travels abroad, they go to another country.
My brother wants to go abroad next year.
Absence. Absence is the state of something being away.
There is an absence of sand in the hourglass.
Absolute. If something is absolute, it is total or complete.
My presentation was an absolute disaster. It was terrible.
Absorb. To absorb a liquid means to take it inside.
He used a sponge to absorb the water on the floor.
Abstract. If ideas are abstract, they are based on general ways of thinking.
The idea of beauty is abstract and changes over time.
Absurd. If something or someone is absurd, they are ridiculous.
That group of people making animal noises sounds completely absurd.
Abundant. If something is abundant, then it is available in large quantities.
Cakes, cookies, and candy were so abundant that the child was very happy.
Abuse. To abuse someone or something means to hurt them on purpose.
The mean man abused his dog when it barked too loudly.
Academy. An academy is a special type of school.
There are many courses taught at the academy that I go to.
Accelerate. To accelerate means to increase in speed.
When he stepped on the gas pedal, the motorcycle accelerated.
Accent. An accent is a certain way of speaking that shows where a person is from.
The new teacher's accent was clearly a German one.
Accept. To accept something that is offered is to take it.
I accepted the girl's very nice gift.
Access. Access is the right to enter or use something.
The manager was the only person with access to the password.
Accessory. An accessory is a thing that is added to another thing to make it look better.
The store sold colorful accessories like bags, sunglasses, and makeup.
Accident. An accident is an unexpected, undesirable event.
She had to go to the hospital after she was in a serious car accident.
Accommodate. To accommodate is to have enough room.
The meeting room can accommodate 9 people.
Accompany. To accompany other people means to join them or go with them.
My brothers accompanied me to the movie.
Accomplish. To accomplish something means to finish it.
He accomplished his goal of running 10 miles.
Accordingly. If someone acts accordingly, they act in a way that is suitable.
He feels like he did a good job, and his boss should pay him accordingly.
Account. An account with a bank is an arrangement to keep one's money there.
After I paid for the new car, my bank account was nearly empty.
Accountant. An accountant is a person whose job is to keep financial accounts.
The accountant helped me keep track of my money.
Accumulate. To accumulate something is to collect a lot of it over time.
The mail accumulated in their mailbox while they were on vacation.
Accurate. If something is accurate, it is completely correct.
The story in the newspaper wasn't very accurate.
Accuse. To accuse someone of something is to blame them for doing it.
She accused her brother of breaking her computer.
Accustomed. When you become accustomed to something, you are in the habit of it.
Grandfather is accustomed to reading the newspaper every morning.
Ache. If something aches, it hurts.
Mindy's head ached because she bumped it against the wall.
Achieve. To achieve something is to successfully do it after trying hard.
I was happy that I could achieve my goal.
Acid. An acid is a chemical that can burn or dissolve other substances.
In chemistry class, we mixed 2 acids together and watched the reaction.
Acknowledge. If you acknowledge something, you accept that it is true or that it exists.
The teacher acknowledged that the young student was hungry.
Acquaint. To acquaint is to get to know something or someone.
Nancy acquainted herself with the new computer.
Acquire. To acquire something is to gain possession of it.
Tina acquired a strange package yesterday.
Acquisition. An acquisition is something that a person buys or gets in some way.
Marty was happy with his new acquisition, a very fast bicycle.
Acrobat. An acrobat is a person who entertains people by doing amazing physical things.
There were acrobats at the circus that did impressive and complicated jumps.
Across. To go across something is to go to the other side of it.
He walked across the board to the other side.
Actual. Actual means that something is real or true.
This is the actual sword that the king owned, not a fake one.
Actually. Actually means in fact or really.
My dad looks a little mean, but actually he's very kind.
Acute. When a bad thing is acute, it is very severe and intense.
When she fell out of the tree, the girl felt an acute pain in her arm.
Adapt. To adapt means to change in order to deal with a new situation or addition.
When he went to the new town, he had to adapt to all the weather changes.
Addict. An addict is a person who cannot stop doing or having something.
She was a coffee addict. She had more than 3 cups each day.
Adept. If someone is adept at something, they are very good at doing it.
The carpenter is very adept at building houses.
Adequate. When something is adequate, it is good enough for something else.
Without adequate notice of the roadblock, they will have to turn around.
Adhere. To adhere means to act in the way that a rule or agreement says is right.
If the new employees wish to succeed, they must adhere to the boss's rules.
Adhesive. An adhesive is a substance used for sticking things together.
The carpenter used an adhesive to hold the 2 pieces of wood together.
Adjoin. To adjoin something means to be next to or attached to something else.
She can listen to her brother's conversations because her room adjoins his.
Adjoining. If something is adjoining, it is next to or joined with a building or room.
I couldn't sleep because the people in the adjoining room were loud.
Adjust. To adjust something means to change it so it is better.
He adjusted the old guitar to make it sound better.
Administer. To administer means to take responsibility for organizing something.
The teacher's assistant will administer the test.
Administration. An administration is the group of people who manage a company or organization.
She hoped she could be promoted to a job in the administration.
Administrative. Administrative describes anything related to managing a company or organization.
I work as an administrative assistant to the owner of the company.
Administrator. An administrator is a person who controls a business, company, or organization.
Everyone in the store did whatever the administrator asked them to do.
Admiral. An admiral is someone who controls many military ships.
They won the sea battle because of the admiral's great leadership.
Admire. To admire someone is to like them for what they do.
I admire my brother for his hard work.
Admission. Admission is the act of allowing to enter a place.
The admission ticket to the movie was $5.
Admit. To admit something means to say that it is true.
I had to admit that I stole his idea.
Admonish. To admonish someone is to tell them you disapprove of their behavior.
The teacher admonished Mark because he was chewing gum in class.
Adolescent. An adolescent is a young person or a teenager.
The adolescent was excited about getting a skateboard for his birthday.
Adopt. To adopt someone is to make them as part of one's own family.
The girl was adopted by the couple when she was 3.
Adorn. To adorn something means to make it more beautiful by decorating it.
Small glass beads adorned the vase.
Advance. To advance is to go forward.
He advanced up the ladder slowly.
Advantage. An advantage is something that helps you.
Being tall is an advantage to a basketball player.
Advent. An advent is the arrival or beginning of an important person, thing, or event.
During the advent of radio, very few programs actually played music.
Adventure. An adventure is a fun or exciting thing that you do.
Riding in the rough water was an adventure.
Adverse. If something is adverse, then it is harmful.
Not eating healthy foods can have an adverse effect on your health.
Advertise. To advertise is to tell people about something on TV, radio, etc.
They used a rabbit to help them advertise their product.
Advice. Advice is an opinion about what to do.
I don't know how to study for my exams. Can you give me some advice?
Advise. To advise someone is to tell them what to do.
My mother often advises people about their money.
Advocacy. Advocacy is the act of supporting or recommending something.
Janine's strong advocacy for the event made people want to attend.
Advocate. To advocate a plan or idea is to support or suggest it in public.
The group advocated increased spending on education and schools.
Aerial. When something is aerial, it relates to being in the air or flying.
The aerial photographer took pictures from the air balloon.
Aesthetic. If something is aesthetic, then it is concerned with a love of beauty.
The dresses were noteworthy for their aesthetic design.
Affair. An affair is an event or a thing that happened.
My wife and I attended a formal affair over the weekend.
Affection. Affection is a feeling of liking someone or something.
Amanda has a lot of affection for her little sister Sarah.
Affect. To affect someone or something is to have an influence over them.
The students' poor attitude affected the other students in the class.
Affirm. To affirm is to say that something is true.
Using a graph, Malcolm affirmed the success of the company.
Afflicted. Afflicted means to suffer physically or mentally.
He was afflicted by pain in his right arm.
Affluent. If someone is affluent, they are wealthy.
People in the city are usually more affluent than people in the country.
Afford. To afford something means you have enough money to pay for it.
I've been saving my money, so I can afford to buy a new bike.
Afraid. When someone is afraid, they feel fear.
The woman was afraid of what she saw.
Against. To be against something is to be touching it or opposed to it.
They both leaned against the wall.
Agency. An agency is a business or service set up to act for others.
I went to a travel agency to help me arrange a flight home.
Aggregate. When a number is aggregate, it is made up of smaller amounts added together.
The company totaled its aggregate sales for the entire year.
Aggression. Aggression is behavior that is mean or violent to others.
The problem was only made worse by Mark's aggression.
Aggressive. If someone is aggressive, then they constantly want to fight.
Nobody liked to play games with him because he was always too aggressive.
Agree. To agree is to say yes, or to think the same way.
The food is very good in that restaurant. I agree with you.
Agriculture. Agriculture is the growing of food and animals.
The farmers studied agriculture in college.
Ahead. If something is ahead of something else, it is in front of it.
The blue car drove on ahead of us.
Aid. To aid someone is to help them when they need something.
The doctor aided the boy after his accident.
Ail. To ail a person or group is to cause difficulty or pain.
My brother went to the doctor to see what was ailing him.
Aim. An aim is a goal someone wants to make happen.
My aim is to become a helicopter pilot.
Aircraft. An aircraft is a vehicle that flies in the sky, such as an airplane or helicopter.
At the museum in the airport, you can see a lot of old aircraft.
Airway. An airway is the passage by which air reaches a person's lungs.
Since he was sick, mucus would occasionally get stuck in his airway.
Aisle. An aisle is a space between two things that people use to walk.
They were told to clear the aisle because the plane was about to land.
Alarm. An alarm is something that warns people of danger.
When the students heard the fire alarm, they left the building.
Alas. Alas is a word that people say when something bad happens.
I looked everywhere for my purse, but alas, I couldn't find it.
Alert. To alert someone is to tell or warn them about something.
The fire alarm alerted us that there was a problem.
Alien. An alien is a creature from a different world.
The alien came in peace.
Alike. If two things or people are alike, they are similar in some way.
People often think my sister and I look alike.
Alive. If someone or something is alive, they are not dead.
My grandparents are still alive, even though they're over 90.
Allege. To allege something is to say that it is true without offering proof.
The little girl had alleged that her older brother hid her favorite doll.
Alleviate. To alleviate pain or suffering means to make it less intense or severe.
She needed something to alleviate the pain in her back.
Alley. An alley is a narrow road behind houses or buildings.
The alley behind my house looks dirty.
Alliance. An alliance is a group of people who work together.
The junior executives formed an alliance with each other.
Allocate. To allocate something means to put it aside for a certain purpose or person.
The government allocated $100 million to aid the disaster relief effort.
Allot. To allot something means to give it to someone.
The coach allotted each team 5 minutes to prepare a strategy.
Allow. To allow something to happen means to let it happen.
Having a ticket will allow you to enter the show.
Ally. An ally is someone who agrees to help or support you.
I was happy to find many allies who shared the same opinion as me.
Almighty. The Almighty is a name for a god in a religion.
Before eating, they thanked the Almighty for their food.
Alone. If someone is alone, they are not with another person.
The boy wanted to be alone to think.
Along. Along means to move from one part of a road, river, etc. to another.
Walk along this tunnel for 10 minutes and you'll see a door on the left.
Alongside. If something is alongside another thing, then it is next to it.
We work alongside each other in the office.
Aloud. If you say something aloud, you say it so that others can hear you.
My father often reads stories aloud to me and my sister.
Already. If something happens already, it happens before a certain time.
It is already time for the movie to start. Let's go in.
Altar. An altar is a table used in churches.
The altar had many lit candles on it.
Alter. To alter something means to make a small change to it.
I altered the color of my nails to match my hair.
Alternate. To alternate means to switch back and forth between two things.
The best exercise alternates muscle and heart strengthening.
Alternative. An alternative is something that you can choose instead of your first choice.
Her first plan to make extra money seemed weak, so she chose an alternative.
Although. You use although to say that one thing is contrasted by another.
Although she was late, her friends gave her a warm welcome.
Altitude. The altitude of a place is its height above sea level.
The air was thin at such a high altitude on the mountain.
Altogether. If something happens altogether, it happens completely.
The company stopped using sugar altogether in its food.
Amaze. To amaze someone is to surprise them very much.
The news in the paper amazed Jack.
Ambassador. An ambassador is a government worker who works in another country.
The ambassador from Korea was in charge of the conference.
Amber. Amber is a hard, yellowish material that comes from trees.
The necklace was made from pieces of amber.
Ambitious. If someone is ambitious, they want to be rich or successful.
Kendra had to be ambitious to get into medical school.
Amend. To amend something means to change it to improve or make it accurate.
The countries were in agreement that the treaty needed to be amended.
Amid. If something is amid something else, then it is in the middle of it.
The bee was busily flying amid the flowers in the garden.
Amnesty. Amnesty is a pardon given to prisoners of war.
She was denied amnesty for her involvement in the war.
Among. If you are among certain things, they are all around you.
There was a red apple among the green ones.
Amount. An amount is how much there is of something.
Can I use my card to pay for the entire amount?
Ample. If something is ample, then it is enough or more than enough.
There was an ample supply of oats to feed the horses.
Amuse. To amuse someone means to do something that is funny or entertaining.
The singer was very good. She amused the crowd.
Analogous. If something is analogous to another thing, then it is like it in certain ways.
The relationship with his teacher was analogous to that of a son and mother.
Analogy. An analogy is a connection made between things to show that they are similar.
The doctor made an analogy between the human heart and a water pump.
Analytic. If something is analytic, it is related to logic and reasoning.
The analytic article criticized the new plan and presented one of its own.
Analyze. To analyze something is to study it.
The scientist will analyze the blood sample.
Ancestor. An ancestor is a family member from the past.
My ancestors came from Germany.
Ancestry. A person's ancestry is the series of people from whom a person descended.
We studied our ancestry and found out that we are related to royalty.
Anchor. An anchor is a heavy object dropped from a boat to make it stay in one place.
When the ship reached its destination, the crew dropped the anchor.
Ancient. If something is ancient, it is very old.
I want to see the ancient buildings in Rome.
Anemia. Anemia is a blood condition that causes a person to be pale and tired.
When she first developed anemia, she became tired often.
Anew. If you do something anew, you do it again and in a different way.
Though he had failed his driving test, he decided to try it anew.
Anger. To anger someone is to make them mad.
It angers me when people are rude.
Angle. An angle is the direction from which you look at something.
The giraffe turned its head to see from another angle.
Angry. When someone is angry, they may want to speak loudly or fight.
She didn't do her homework, so her father is angry.
Animate. When something is animate, it has life.
Rocks and machines are not animate things.
Anniversary. An anniversary is a day that celebrates something from the past.
My parents went out to eat for their wedding anniversary.
Announce. To announce something is to make it known.
He announced to everyone his new idea for the company.
Annoy. To annoy someone means to bother them.
The flies buzzing around John's head annoyed him very much.
Annual. If something is annual, it happens once a year.
The only time I see my aunts and uncles is at our annual family picnic.
Anthropology. Anthropology is the study of people, society, and culture.
In anthropology class, I learned about simple tools that ancient cultures used.
Antibiotic. An antibiotic is a medical drug used to kill bacteria and treat infections.
The doctor gave me a shot of an antibiotic when I got the flu.
Anticipate. To anticipate something is to think that it will happen.
Carrie anticipated the arrival of her baby.
Antique. If something is antique, it is very old and rare, and therefore valuable.
My grandmother's antique rocking chair is worth a lot of money.
Anxiety. When someone has anxiety, they have a lot of worries and fear.
When I have to climb to high places, I'm filled with anxiety.
Anxious. When a person is anxious, they worry that something bad will happen.
She was anxious about not making her appointment on time.
Anymore. Anymore means any longer.
Her old pants don't fit her anymore.
Apart. When people or things are apart, they are not close together.
The couple decided to live apart from each other.
Apartment. An apartment is a set of rooms in a building where people live.
She has a nice apartment in the city.
Apologetic. If someone is apologetic, they are sorry about something.
The boy felt apologetic after losing his sister's favorite toy.
Apology. An apology is something someone says to show that they are sorry.
After arguing with her teacher, the girl wrote the teacher an apology.
Appall. To appall means to horrify, shock, or disgust someone.
The boy was appalled when he saw the accident.
Apparatus. An apparatus is a device used for a particular purpose.
The campers had an apparatus that showed them their exact location.
Apparent. If something is apparent, it is easy to see.
Her happiness was apparent from the smile on her face.
Appeal. To appeal to someone is to be interesting or attractive to them.
Sleeping all day appeals to me, but I have to go to school.
Appear. To appear is to seem.
She appeared to be sad. She was crying.
Appetite. Your appetite is your hunger for food.
Tom has a big appetite. He eats all the time.
Appetizing. When food is appetizing, it looks and smells very good.
The appetizing plate of cookies was gone in half an hour.
Applaud. To applaud means to clap in order to show approval.
Everyone cheered and applauded Manny's efforts.
Applause. Applause is the noise made when people clap hands to show approval.
At the end of his speech, everyone gave applause.
Appliance. An appliance is a piece of equipment used for jobs in the home.
Many homes have appliances like ovens, toasters, and refrigerators.
Applicant. An applicant is someone who writes a request to be considered for a job or prize.
Lots of applicants came into the store when the job position became available.
Apply. To apply something means to put it on.
She always applies makeup to her face before going outside.
Appoint. To appoint someone to a job means to give the job to them.
2 students were appointed to help the scientists with their research.
Appreciate. To appreciate something is to understand its good qualities.
I can appreciate the lovely scenery.
Apprentice. An apprentice is a person who learns how to do a job from a skilled person.
Mark is an apprentice chef at the restaurant.
Approach. To approach something means to move close to it.
The boy approached his school.
Appropriate. When a thing is appropriate, it is right or normal.
It's appropriate to wear a suit when you go to the office.
Approve. To approve of something means you like it or are happy about it.
Her coworkers approved her new plan.
Approximate. Approximate means to be close to an exact amount, number, or time.
My approximate height is 2 meters.
Aptitude. Aptitude is a natural ability or skill.
He has a natural aptitude for water skiing.
Aquarium. An aquarium is a building where fish and underwater animals are kept.
We took a trip to the aquarium and saw a scary shark.
Aquatic. If a plant or animal is aquatic, it lives or grows in water.
The dolphin is an aquatic mammal.
Arbitrary. If something is arbitrary, it is not based on any plan or system, so it seems random.
The classroom had many arbitrary rules that made me confused.
Arc. An arc is a curved shape.
A rainbow has the shape of an arc.
Arch. An arch is a curved opening formed under a structure such as a bridge or doorway.
The arch of the bridge was not high enough for the tall boat to pass underneath.
Archaic. If something is archaic, it is very old or outdated.
To be competitive, we must update our archaic equipment.
Archaeological. When something is archaeological, it relates to archaeology.
They found archaeological evidence that proved an ancient species of man.
Archaeology. Archaeology is the study of ancient people through their artifacts.
He studied archaeology to learn more about ancient Egyptian culture.
Archer. An archer is a person who uses a bow and arrows.
The expert archer hit the target every time.
Architect. An architect is a person who designs buildings.
The plans for building the new home were drawn by a famous architect.
Architecture. Architecture is the style or way a building is made.
The architecture of the church is amazing.
Arctic. If something is Arctic, it is from far north near the North Pole.
It is cold when the Arctic winds blow.
Arduous. When something is arduous, it demands great effort or labor.
The explorers began their arduous hike up the steep mountain.
Arena. An arena is a building where people can watch sports and concerts.
The new arena was all set to hold the championship match.
Argue. To argue is to angrily speak to someone because you do not agree.
We argued about where to go for dinner.
Arid. If a place is arid, then it is hot and dry and gets very little or no rain.
Not many plants grow in the arid desert.
Arise. To arise is to happen.
Difficulties arose with his computer because it was old.
Aristocracy. The aristocracy is the highest class of people in certain societies.
Most members of the aristocracy were very well fed.
Aristocrat. An aristocrat is a person who is of the highest class in certain societies.
The aristocrat did not need a job because his family was wealthy.
Arithmetic. Arithmetic is math.
I like to study arithmetic at school.
Armed. If you are armed, you are carrying a weapon.
The robber was armed with a gun.
Armor. Armor is metal worn by soldiers to protect the body.
The soldier wore armor to protect his body.
Army. An army is a large group of people who fight in wars.
The army protects all the people in the country.
Aroma. An aroma is a scent or smell.
I love the aroma of coffee in the morning.
Arrange. To arrange things is to put them in the right place.
Please arrange the bowling pins in order so we can play.
Arrest. To arrest someone means to catch them for doing something bad.
The man was arrested for breaking the law.
Arrive. To arrive is to get to or reach some place.
The bus always arrives at the corner of my street at 4.
Arrogant. If someone is arrogant, they think that they are more important than others.
He is very arrogant. Even though he's not the boss, he tells everyone what to do.
Arrow. An arrow is a thin, straight stick shot from a bow.
The arrow flew through the air and hit the target.
Artery. An artery is a tube that takes blood from the heart to the rest of the body.
Eating healthily keeps your arteries clean so blood can flow with ease.
Arthritis. Arthritis is an illness causing pain and swelling in a person's joints.
Agatha couldn't play the piano anymore because of her arthritis.
Article. An article is a story in a newspaper or magazine.
Did you read the article in the newspaper about the soccer game?
Artifact. An artifact is an old object made by humans that is historically interesting.
We studied artifacts from an ancient Chinese settlement.
Artificial. If something is artificial, it is made to look like something natural.
That soccer field has artificial grass, but it looks real.
Artist. An artist is a person who paints, draws, or makes sculptures.
He went to Paris to become an artist.
Ash. Ash is the gray or black powder created when something is burned.
The end of his cigar was full of ashes.
Ashamed. To be ashamed is to feel upset because you did something wrong or bad.
He was ashamed when he found out that I knew about his past.
Ashore. If something goes ashore, it goes from water to the land.
After a long day of fishing, Glenn pulled his boat ashore so it wouldn't float away.
Aside. If someone stands aside, they are on or to one side.
The man stood aside and opened the door for me.
Asleep. When a person is asleep, they are not awake.
The baby has been asleep for hours.
Aspect. An aspect is one part or feature of something.
I thought about the different aspects of owning 2 dogs.
Aspire. To aspire means to have a strong desire to achieve or do something.
George aspired to be a doctor from a young age.
Amber. Amber is a hard, yellowish material that comes from trees.
The necklace was made from pieces of amber.
Assembly. An assembly is a group that is together for the same reason.
The students had an assembly to talk about their interests.
Assert. To assert a fact or belief means to state it with confidence.
He asserted that his mother's cooking was better than his best friend's.
Assess. To assess something means to judge the structure, purpose, or quality of it.
She assessed the condition of the toy car before buying it.
Asset. An asset is a skill or quality that is useful or valuable.
The coach realized the boys' speed was an asset to the team.
Assign. To assign something to someone is to tell them to do it.
I assigned the worker an important task.
Assist. To assist someone is to help them.
Andrew assisted me with my homework.
Associate. To associate means to connect something with a person or thing.
Most people associate birthday parties with having fun.
Assume. To assume something is to think that it is true, even with no proof.
I assume you are both familiar with this plan?
Assumption. An assumption is something that you believe is true but cannot prove.
I went to the cafeteria on the assumption that everyone would be there.
Assure. To assure someone is to tell them something is true to make them less worried.
He assured the boss that the building would be done on time.
Asteroid. An asteroid is a giant rock from outer space.
In 1908, a giant asteroid hit Siberia.
Astonish. To astonish someone means to greatly surprise them.
The amount of people that came to her party astonished her.
Astonished. If someone is astonished, they are very surprised or shocked.
I was astonished when he pulled the live rabbit out of his hat.
Astounded. If you are astounded, you are very surprised.
I was astounded that Monica won the art competition.
Astrology. Astrology is the study of the stars and the belief that they influence people's lives.
Jack, who studies astrology, believes that the stars can predict the future.
Astronaut. An astronaut is a person that goes into outer space.
The astronaut was walking on the moon.
Astronomical. If something is astronomical, then it is extremely large.
It's an astronomical distance between the Milky Way galaxy and the nearest galaxy.
Astronomy. Astronomy is the study of the stars and planets.
Harold loved watching the stars, so he decided to study astronomy.
Athlete. An athlete is a person who plays sports.
Some athletes can play many sports very well.
Atmosphere. The atmosphere is the air around the Earth where weather conditions form.
Scientists worry that harmful substances are hurting the atmosphere.
Atom. An atom is the smallest unit of a substance.
A molecule consists of a combination of two or more atoms.
Attach. To attach is to put two things together.
I attached the socks to the clothesline to dry.
Attack. To attack is to try to fight or to hurt.
The man with the sword attacked the other man first.
Attain. To attain something means to gain or achieve it, often after a lot of effort.
In 2 more years, I will attain my high school diploma.
Attempt. To attempt something is to try to do that thing.
I am attempting to learn English.
Attend. To attend something is to go to it.
My sister and I attend the same school.
Attention. Attention is the notice, thought, or consideration of someone.
His work got the attention of 2 of his coworkers.
Attentive. If you are attentive, you are careful and you pay attention.
He is a good student because he is attentive to every detail on his work.
Attic. An attic is a room just below a house's roof.
There were 2 windows in their attic.
Antique. If something is antique, it is very old and rare, and therefore valuable.
My grandmother's antique rocking chair is worth a lot of money.
Attitude. Someone's attitude is the way they feel and think.
John has a bad attitude. He's always angry.
Attorney. An attorney is one who gives others advice about the law.
The attorney appeared in front of the judge for me.
Attract. To attract means to make a person or thing come closer or be interested.
The magnet attracted the metal.
Attribute. An attribute is a characteristic of a person or thing.
He isn't very clever, but he does have some other positive attributes.
Audible. If something is audible, then it is able to be heard.
The sound of the drums was audible from miles away.
Audience. An audience is a group of people who watch something together.
There was a large audience at the game.
Audit. To audit means to inspect financial records from a person or business.
The government usually audits companies that report lower than usual incomes.
Auditorium. An auditorium is a large building used for public events.
People have gathered at the school auditorium to watch the play.
Authentic. When something is authentic, it is not false or a copy of the original.
We ate authentic Italian food on our vacation to Rome.
Author. An author is a person who wrote a certain piece of writing.
The author was hard at work on his next novel.
Authoritative. If something is authoritative, it uses the best information available.
This book is an authoritative source on ancient Egypt's Queen Nefertiti.
Authority. Authority is the power that someone has because of their position.
The policeman has authority on the streets.
Authorize. To authorize something means to give permission for it.
The mayor authorized the construction of a new statue in the park.
Autobiography. An autobiography is a true story of a person's life written by that person.
I read an autobiography about my favorite entertainer.
Autograph. An autograph is the written name of a famous person.
Everybody wanted the movie star's autograph.
Automate. To automate a company means to install machines or computers to do the work.
When the bank automated, it started installing ATM machines.
Automobile. An automobile is a car.
The first automobiles were very different from the ones that exist today.
Autumn. Autumn is the season of the year between summer and winter.
I love when the leaves fall in autumn because I can play in them.
Avail. Avail is help. It is often used in the achievement of a goal.
His studying was to no avail because he failed the test.
Available. If something is available, it means you can get it.
There were many seats available in the room.
Avalanche. An avalanche is a large amount of snow, ice, and rock falling off a mountain.
The avalanche destroyed the mountain village.
Avenue. An avenue is a road, often a large one with buildings on each side.
Drive down this avenue and then turn left to go to the park.
Average. If something is average, it is at a normal level.
I'm not rich or poor. I'm average.
Appropriate. When a thing is appropriate, it is right or normal.
It's appropriate to wear a suit when you go to the office.
Await. To await something means to wait for it.
The players awaited the judge's decision.
Approximate. Approximate means to be close to an exact amount, number, or time.
My approximate height is 2 meters.
Award. An award is a prize someone gets for doing something well.
He got an award for having the best grades in class.
Aware. If you are aware of something, you know about it.
I was not aware of the ringing phone.
Awesome. If something or someone is awesome, they are impressive or frightening.
The huge military plane was an awesome sight.
Awful. When something is awful, it is very bad.
Her performance last night was awful.
Arc. An arc is a curved shape.
A rainbow has the shape of an arc.
Awkward. If something is awkward, it is embarrassing and uncomfortable.
After dropping his coffee cup, Robbie felt awkward.
Axe. An axe is a tool used to cut wood.
She used an axe to cut some wood for the fire.
Bachelor. A bachelor is an unmarried man.
Since he was a bachelor, Jason did his shopping by himself.
Background. A background is a person's education, family, and experience.
The new teacher had a background in science and math.
Backstage. If something happens backstage, it occurs behind a theater stage.
After the show, the director went backstage and thanked the actors.
Badly. Badly means in a severe or harmful way.
He hurt his arm badly playing with friends.
Baggage. Baggage is the set of bags that people take with them when they travel.
I'm taking several pieces of baggage with me on vacation.
Bait. Bait is something used to trick a person or thing to do something.
The best bait for catching fish is a big fat worm.
Bake. To bake means to cook food with heat.
My sister is a good cook. She bakes delicious cakes.
Balance. To balance something is to keep it from falling.
We saw an elephant balance itself on a ball.
Bald. If someone is bald, they have no hair.
My oldest brother is bald.
Bamboo. Bamboo is a hard plant with thin branches and leaves.
Outside his home, there's a lot of bamboo.
Ban. To ban something is to not let people do it.
Smoking is banned in this building.
Band. A band is a group of people who play music.
My brother is in a rock band.
Bandage. A bandage is a piece of cloth used to stop bleeding.
If you cut yourself, please get a bandage from the first aid kit.
Bang. To bang is to hit something to make a noise.
The drummer banged on his drum as he marched in the parade.
Bankrupt. If someone is bankrupt, then they are unable to pay their debts.
The store had few customers and soon went bankrupt.
Banquet. A banquet is a grand formal dinner.
Both families brought a lot of food for the wedding banquet.
Barber. A barber is a person whose job is to cut hair.
My hair is getting much too long. I'd better go to the barber shop.
Bare. When something is bare, it is plain. It has no covering.
He likes to walk around in his bare feet.
Barely. Barely means by the smallest amount. Almost not.
I barely had enough money to pay for my bus ticket.
Bark. When a dog barks, it makes a short, loud noise.
The dog barked loudly and frighteningly.
Barley. Barley is a grain that is used for animal feed, health food, and beer.
The farmer grew barley to feed his cows in the winter.
Barrel. A barrel is a round thing that you can keep liquids in.
There was an empty barrel outside the house.
Barren. If land is barren, it has no plants growing on it.
People cannot farm in barren lands.
Barrier. A barrier is something that is in your way.
The Great Wall was a barrier between China and its enemies.
Base. The base is the bottom of something.
The base of the table has 3 legs.
Basement. A basement of a house or building is a room that is built underground.
They turned their basement into a game room.
Basic. If something is basic, it is very simple or easy.
I learned some basic English skills in school today.
Basin. A basin is a large bowl for washing things. A sink is sometimes called a basin.
She filled the basin with water and washed her face.
Basis. To do something on times basis is how often you do it.
My grandfather gets his hearing checked on a yearly basis.
Bath. A bath is water in a tub. People take a bath to get clean.
After playing in the dirt, the boy took a bath.
Battle. A battle is a fight between 2 armies during a war.
The battle lasted for many days.
Bay. A bay is an area near the ocean where the land goes inward.
The Golden Gate Bridge crosses San Francisco Bay.
Beach. The beach is a sandy or rocky place by the ocean.
The little girl built a sandcastle on the beach.
Bead. A bead is a drop of liquid.
Beads of water collected outside the glass.
Beak. A beak is the hard, curved part of a bird's mouth.
The bird used her beak to dig a small hole in the ground.
Beam. A beam is a heavy bar.
Modern skyscrapers are made with several beams.
Bean. A bean is a plant seed that is good to eat.
There are many different kinds of beans to eat.
Beast. A beast is a large, dangerous animal.
A lion is one of the fiercest beasts on earth.
Beat. To beat someone means to do better than they do.
I managed to beat everyone in the race.
Beforehand. If something is done beforehand, then it is done in advance.
He packed his luggage beforehand so he was able to leave right away.
Beg. To beg is to ask for something one really wants.
The man begged for some money.
Behalf. If something is done on one's behalf, it is done for that person by another.
The original speaker was sick, so his son gave the speech on his behalf.
Behave. To behave is to act in a particular way, especially to be good.
She always behaves well when her father is around.
Associate. To associate means to connect something with a person or thing.
Most people associate birthday parties with having fun.
Behind. Behind means to be at the back of something.
The little girl was hiding behind a tree.
Belief. A belief is a strong feeling that something is correct or true.
A preacher or priest should have a strong belief in God.
Belly. The belly is the stomach of a person or animal.
His belly was full because he ate a lot of food.
Belong. If something belongs to you, you own it.
The blue suit belongs to Paul.
Beloved. When something is beloved, it is very special and you like it very much.
The boy took a nap next to his beloved cat.
Bench. A bench is a long seat for two or more people.
Most parks have benches for citizens to relax upon.
Bend. To bend is to move something so it is not straight.
Lee bent over and picked up the paper on the ground.
Beneath. If something is beneath something else, it is under it.
The largest part of an iceberg lies beneath the waterline.
Benefactor. A benefactor is a person who gives money to help someone.
The student's benefactor gave him money to spend on his studies.
Beneficial. If something is beneficial, it is good for you.
Drinking milk every day is beneficial to your bones.
Benefit. A benefit is a good thing.
Being able to fly is a good benefit to birds.
Benevolent. If someone is benevolent, they are kind and generous.
My father was a benevolent man and gave lots of money to charity.
benign. If something or someone is benign, they do not hurt anyone.
Many spiders look scary, but most are actually benign.
Berry. A berry is a small round fruit that grows on certain plants and trees.
The berry looked delicious.
Beside. When someone or something is beside you, they are next to you.
The two brothers stood beside each other.
Bet. To bet is to risk money on the result of a game or a business.
How much will you bet that your horse will win?
Betray. To betray someone means to treat them in a dishonest way.
The man betrayed his country when he gave away national secrets.
Beverage. A beverage is a drink.
The waiter brought our beverages first, then he brought our food.
Beware. To beware means to be careful of something or someone that is dangerous.
You should beware of driving fast on wet roads.
Beyond. If A is beyond B, A is farther away.
John's house is beyond that lake.
Bias. A bias is a person's likelihood to like one thing more than another thing.
The mothers had a natural bias for their own child's picture.
Bid. A bid to do something is an attempt to do it.
He made a bid to become the university's next president.
Bilingual. If someone is bilingual, then they can speak 2 languages.
Since you already know English, after learning French, you'll be bilingual.
Bill. A bill is a statement of money owed for goods or a service.
I have so many bills that I do not know how to pay for them all.
Billion. A billion is a very large number.
There are billions of stars in outer space.
Billionaire. A billionaire is someone who has at least $1 billion.
The sale of his inventions made the inventor a billionaire.
Bin. A bin is a container that holds things.
He put his trash in the bin.
Bind. To bind is to bring people together.
The victims of the flood were bound by their need to help each other.
Binoculars. Binoculars are a device used for seeing things that are far away.
He could see the ship on the horizon only if he used his binoculars.
Biography. A biography is an account of someone's life that is written by someone else.
We read a biography about Charles Darwin in science class.
Biological. Biological describes the process of life and living things.
In science, we learned about the biological process of bacteria.
Biology. Biology is the study of living things.
We learned about the human heart in biology class.
Biosphere. The biosphere is the Earth's surface and atmosphere where there are living things.
Birds, trees, and worms all thrive in the biosphere.
Biotechnology. Biotechnology is the use of living parts, such as cells, in industry and technology.
Researchers at the biotechnology company use bacteria to make medicine.
Birthplace. A birthplace is a place where a person is born or where something started.
China is the birthplace of chopsticks.
Bite. Bite is the act of using your teeth to cut and tear into something.
The boy took a big bite out of his hamburger.
Bitter. When a person is bitter, they are upset with someone or a situation.
He was extremely bitter when his computer crashed.
Bit. A bit is a small amount of something.
I ate a bit of chocolate before I went to bed.
Bizarre. When something is bizarre, it is very strange.
My bizarre dreams make no sense to me when I'm awake.
Blacksmith. A blacksmith is a person who makes things out of metal.
The blacksmith pounded the piece of metal until it was flat.
Blame. To blame someone for something bad is to say they did it.
My mom blamed me for something I didn't do.
Blank. When something is blank, it does not have anything on it.
She got a blank paper to draw on.
Blanket. A blanket is a piece of cloth that you use to keep warm or to sit upon.
I laid a blanket on the ground so that we could have a picnic.
Blast. A blast is a loud noise made by something that explodes.
There was a loud blast when the police officer fired the gun.
Blaze. To blaze means to burn brightly or powerfully.
The small fire soon blazed into a large, dangerous one.
Bleed. To bleed is to lose blood.
If you are not careful, you will cut your finger and bleed.
Blend. To blend is to mix two or more things together so that they become one thing.
My wife blended together all of the ingredients to make a delicious stew.
Bless. To bless is to ask God for protection or help.
The angel blessed the newborn baby to keep it safe.
Blind. When people are blind, they cannot see.
The blind man didn't see the hole and almost fell in.
Blink. To blink means to shut the eyes and quickly open them again.
I blinked many times so that my eyes could adjust to the bright light.
Bliss. Bliss is a state of complete happiness.
Every time he sees his girlfriend, he feels a sense of bliss.
Blizzard. A blizzard is a severe snowstorm with strong winds.
We did not dare to go outside during the terrible blizzard.
Block. A block is a solid piece of wood, stone, or ice.
I saw a block of ice on the floor.
Blonde. If someone is a blonde, they have light-colored hair.
My cousin is different from me. She is a blonde with blue eyes.
Blood. Blood is the red liquid in your body.
I cut my finger and got blood on my shirt.
Bloom. When a plant blooms, it makes flowers.
Roses look so pretty when they bloom.
Blossom. A blossom is a flower or group of flowers.
There were colorful blossoms in the yard.
Blow. To blow means to move air or move something through the air, as in the wind.
The wind is blowing very hard today. We should stay inside.
Board. A board is a flat piece of wood.
The sign was made of a few wooden boards.
Boast. To boast is to talk about how good you are.
We all became tired of listening to him boast about himself all day.
Bold. If someone is bold, they are not afraid of doing something.
The bold man climbed the high mountain.
Bomb. A bomb is an object that explodes and destroys large areas.
The bomb will destroy anything that is near.
Bond. To bond with someone is to become friends with them.
The women bonded after several hours of conversation.
Bone. A bone is a hard part of the body.
I brought home a nice bone for my dog.
Boom. To boom means to make a loud, deep sound.
The firecrackers made a loud boom when they exploded.
Boost. To boost something means to increase or improve it.
Lowering prices boosts customers' interest in shopping.
Boot. A boot is a heavy shoe that goes over your ankle.
He wore boots so that his feet wouldn't get wet.
Border. A border is the edge of an area.
The postcard had a pretty green border of pine needles.
Boring. If something is boring, it is not fun.
I think the internet is boring.
Borrow. To borrow something is to take it and then give it back later.
Can I borrow a pencil to use today? I'll give it back to you tomorrow.
Boss. A boss is a person in charge of other people at work.
My boss is a nice person.
Botany. Botany is the study of plants.
Gardens are the best places for botany.
Bother. To bother is to make the effort to do something.
No one bothered to wash the dishes today.
Bottom. The bottom is the lowest part.
The bottom of my shoe has a hole in it.
Bounce. To bounce is to move something up and away from a surface after hitting it.
Owen bounced the ball on the ground.
Boundary. A boundary is the line where one area of land stops and another begins.
This fence shows the boundary between our yard and yours.
Bow. A bow is a weapon made of curved wood and string that shoots arrows.
He went hunting with a bow and arrow.
Bowl. A bowl is a deep round dish that holds food or liquid.
I ate a bowl of cereal for breakfast.
Bracelet. A bracelet is a piece of jewelry that you wear around your wrist.
My father gave me a pretty gold bracelet for my birthday.
Brag. To brag means to talk of one's abilities or achievements in a proud way.
He had strong muscles and bragged about it to the entire class.
Braille. Braille is a system of raised patterns on paper that allows the blind to read.
The boy enjoyed reading his favorite books written in Braille.
Brain. The brain is the organ in your head that lets you think.
You must use your brain to solve the problem.
Brainstorm. To brainstorm is to have a lot of ideas about a certain topic.
The students met after school to brainstorm ideas for their assignment.
Branch. A branch is the part of a tree with leaves.
The monkey was hanging from a branch on the tree.
Brass. Brass is a metal that is used to make musical instruments and ornaments.
Brass is used to make musical instruments like trumpets.
Brave. When people are brave, they are not afraid to face pain or danger.
The brave firefighter saved the girl from the burning building.
Breadth. Breadth is the distance from one side to the other side of something.
The breadth of the northern wall of the house is 20 meters.
Breakdown. A breakdown is a failure to work correctly.
Her car had a breakdown and she wasn't sure how to fix it.
Breakfast. Breakfast is the first meal of the day.
I eat breakfast at 8 every morning.
Breath. A breath is the air that goes into and out of one's lungs.
You can't take a breath underwater.
Breathe. To breathe means to let air go in and out of your body.
We need strong, healthy lungs to help us breathe well.
Breed. A breed is a group of animals within a species.
I like small dog breeds, such as terriers.
Breeze. A breeze is a soft wind.
The breeze caused the leaves to fall off the tree.
Brew. To brew coffee or tea means to pour hot water over it.
Please brew a fresh pot of coffee.
Bribe. To bribe someone means to illegally persuade them for a favor with money.
The judge was bribed so that she would set the suspect free.
Brick. A brick is a block of hard clay that is used for building things, such as walls.
There were several bricks scattered on the ground.
Bride. A bride is a woman who is getting married or has just gotten married.
The bride looked beautiful in her wedding dress.
Bridge. A bridge is something that is built over a river so people can cross it.
The old bridge fell into the river.
Brief. If something is brief, it only lasts for a short time.
The meeting this afternoon was very brief.
Bright. If something is bright, it shows a lot of light.
The bright light from the explosion hurt my eyes.
Brilliant. If someone is brilliant, they are very smart.
My younger sister is brilliant for someone her age.
Belief. A belief is a strong feeling that something is correct or true.
A preacher or priest should have a strong belief in God.
Broad. If something is broad, it is wide.
The river is very long and broad.
Broadcast. A broadcast is a television or radio show.
We watched the broadcast of the local news on TV.
Brook. A brook is a small stream.
Water flows down several brooks on the mountain.
Broom. A broom is a brush with a long handle used for cleaning floors.
My father usually uses a broom to sweep away dust in the basement.
Bruise. A bruise is a dark mark caused by being hit by something.
She got a bruise on her knee from falling down.
Brute. A brute is someone who behaves or looks like a violent animal.
My older brother can act like a brute when he doesn't get his way.
Bucket. A bucket is a round container to put things in.
I filled the bucket with water.
Bud. A bud is a part of a plant that turns into a flower or a leaf.
2 weeks after planting the seed, a small bud appeared.
Budget. A budget is the amount of money available to spend on something.
His budget for food was very tight.
Bulb. A bulb is the glass part of an electric light.
I had to change the light bulb in my bedroom.
Bulk. The bulk of something is its great size.
The large elephant moved its bulk with legs as strong as tree trunks.
Bullet. A bullet is a small metal object that is shot out of guns.
Bullets come in different sizes for different guns.
Bulletin. A bulletin is a news report that talks about very recent and important events.
There was a live bulletin reporting on the economy of the city.
Bully. A bully is a person who is mean to others.
The two bullies always picked on the smaller, weaker kids.
Bump. A bump is a small raised area on a surface.
The monkey got a bump on his head because he was hit by a rock.
Bunch. A bunch is a group of the same things.
She was hungry, so she ate the entire bunch of grapes.
Bundle. A bundle is a number of things that are tied together.
I was shocked when he showed me a bundle of money.
Buoy. A buoy is a floating sign that warns boats of dangerous areas.
Don't steer the boat near those buoys. There are rocks underneath the water.
Burden. A burden is a serious or difficult responsibility.
Children who do not behave are a burden to their parents.
Burn. To burn something is to set it on fire.
I burned some wood in the campfire.
Burst. To burst is to suddenly break open or apart.
The bomb burst over the city.
Bury. To bury someone or something means to put them in the ground.
They buried their grandfather under his favorite tree after he died.
Bush. A bush is a plant with many thin branches. It is smaller than a tree.
My dad and I planted some small bushes around the house.
Butler. A butler is the most important male servant in a wealthy house.
Whenever he needed something, he rang a bell and the butler appeared.
Bin. A bin is a container that holds things.
He put his trash in the bin.
Cache. A cache is a hiding place for valuable things.
The pirates kept their jewelry in a cache hidden in a cave.
Cage. A cage is something that holds an animal so it cannot leave.
We put the parrots in their cage at night.
Calculate. To calculate is to find an answer using math.
I calculated how much money I would need to buy the car.
Calculus. Calculus is an advanced type of mathematics.
By using calculus, scientists determine small changes in the star's brightness.
Calm. When someone is calm, they do not get excited or upset.
A nice warm bath makes me feel so calm.
Camouflage. Camouflage is something used to hide people and things.
The green and brown camouflage was best used for hiding in forests and jungles.
Canal. A canal is a path for water to travel through.
The city of Venice, Italy has many canals.
Cancel. To cancel means to decide that an event or a request will not happen.
She canceled the rest of her plans because of the rain.
Candidate. A candidate is a person who is competing to win something, such as a job.
Alice is the best candidate for the job.
Candle. A candle is a stick of wax that is lit on fire for light or heat.
When the lights went out, we lit some candles.
Canyon. A canyon is a narrow valley with steep walls through which a river often flows.
The canyon was so deep that the ground inside was covered in shadow.
Capable. If someone or something is capable of something, they can do it.
The Olympic athlete is capable of lifting a lot of weight.
Capacity. The capacity of something is the amount of things that can be put in it.
The parking lot has reached its full capacity.
Cape. A cape is a large cloth that covers one's back and is tied around the neck.
The superhero wore a long red cape.
Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system where private companies make goods for profit.
Most industries in the world today are based on capitalism.
Capitalist. A capitalist is a business person who invests in trade and industry for profit.
The capitalist invested in a factory that made wheat into cereal.
Capital. A capital is an important city where a country's leaders live and work.
We will visit the capital to learn about our government.
Captain. A captain is the person who leads a ship or airplane.
The captain sailed his ship to Australia.
Captive. A captive is a prisoner.
The guards told the captive that there was no way he could escape the prison.
Capture. To capture someone or something is to catch them.
James tried to capture the bubbles in his hands.
Carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are substances in foods like bread that give you energy.
Carbohydrates like rice are a good source of energy for active people.
Cardboard. Cardboard is a material made out of stiff paper. It is often used to make boxes.
We packed our things into cardboard boxes and moved to our new home.
Cardinal. If a rule or quality is cardinal, then it is the most important one.
Raising your hand in the classroom before you speak is a cardinal rule.
Career. A career is a job that you do for a large part of your life.
He was in the hospitality business for most of his career.
Carefully. Carefully means with great attention, especially to detail or safety.
The baby carefully climbed down the stairs.
Caretaker. A caretaker is a person who takes care of very young, old, or sick people.
My grandmother's caretaker helps her get around the house.
Cargo. Cargo is the items carried by a ship or plane.
The cargo of the ship got wet when it started raining.
Carpenter. A carpenter is a person who builds things with wood.
We hired a carpenter to make a cupboard.
Carriage. A carriage is a vehicle pulled by a horse.
We took a carriage ride in the park.
Cartoon. A cartoon is a funny drawing.
Sometimes people draw cartoons for the newspaper.
Carve. To carve means to cut into something.
My father usually carves the turkey for Thanksgiving.
Cash. Cash is money in the form of paper or coins.
I was able to save up enough cash to buy my mother a gift.
Cast. To cast something means to throw it.
The fisherman cast his line into the water.
Castle. A castle is a building with strong walls where royalty usually lives.
The castle was built many years ago.
Casual. If something is casual, it is relaxed or simple.
You can wear casual clothes to the party like jeans.